Aha, we boys will light it.
Are we a pod?
We are a pod.
We are a pod.
We are podded.
Here we are, live from Great Big Studios, podcasting to you, Great Big Sea Heads everywhere. Subject of tonight's podcast, Bob, is bands that have opened up for us.
Bands that have opened, and there have been many. Actually, I was surprised and to see the collection you brought, and you're only scratching the surface.
That's just the stuff that I actually could find.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that is, I thought, this would be an area that I'd easily remember all these bands, and, it'd be no problem, but there's at least a dozen here that I'd completely forgotten about. In fact, I'm surprised they opened for us.
What you mean to say is that you're surprised that I have any of these because I've shown so little interest in opening
Indeed,
over the years.
Several there that I thought you actively disliked them.
Yeah, there are, actually. That's probably
I remember assaulting at least one of those people.
That's why I bought the CDs after and said sorry about that. But
more of an act of pity.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them that have suffered cruel and unjust punishments because they were opening up for us. And let's start with this band. I think, as I recall, this band is called the Plaid Tongue Devils. I think they're from Edmonton or Calgary. Pretty sure it was Edmonton. We ran into them at the Coca Awards, and I can't remember when it was. I'd say 1995 or 1994. And we actually won an award. We played. I think they were in Edmonton.
That was like 96.
96? Okay.
It was 90.
And anyway, let me play this. These are the Plaid Tongue Devils, and then we'll talk about them as we listen to them. We won an award for like best band of the year or something.
Yes, I remember that.
And these were the new band. And they were just starting to tour after, and that's where I met them.
And then they opened for us. Where did they open for us?
We played the show. So,
they were the opening act.
They were the opening act at the show.
Man, I usually remember the Celtic bands, and I have no memory of these guys. Like, I remember that name, it was a funny name, but I can't...
I don't know that they're really Celtic, per se. I think the Plaid Tongue Devils, I think there's some... From the look at the artwork here, some of the guys are like East Indian and stuff, right?
Yeah, it sounds more like a David Byrne thing, man. It doesn't sound anything like...
But they had a fiddle and a mandolin player, which I guess technically made them Celtic.
It was the heyday of the Celt.
Yeah. Mandolin.
Very nice.
They had nicknames too. Rogue Pope.
Rogue Pope, good nickname.
The Age of Electric. Olive Oil.
Not a good name.
And Outer Limits.
Terrible nickname.
Tarek. Just Tarek. Maybe Tarek, our friend Tarek might have been in that. Because it says Tarek, just Tarek. Second lead and backup vocals on Heyday, so he probably would have joined in the recording of this.
Yeah, well, he was living in Edmonton or Calgary.
He was in Edmonton, yeah. So we'll try track 2. See what else they do. It's pretty funky, man. Wait, now Bob's taking his shirt off. Whoa!
Yeah, no, it's Phil Warm here, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's getting hot in here.
What do you think of that bass there, Mark?
I don't know. If you like Danny Thomas, then sure.
It sounds like this is very Frubus.
I hate that guitar. Sounds like it's plugged into the board.
Anyway, I don't know whatever happened to them. I wish them all well. I remember having drinks with them.
Farewell to the Plaid Tongue Devils.
They gave me this CD.
And you still have it.
Oh, yeah. And I found it by scouring my collection. We're going to move along now to a man from Montreal who actually went out of his way to open up for us, Bob.
You're referring to...
Liam Callahan.
Liam Callahan.
And the Water of Life.
A memorable opener, actually. A memorable man.
This is Liam Callahan and the Water of Life. First time I saw him was at what was the club? It was on Queen Street.
X-Rays?
I remember being blown away because he was wearing like long john pajamas, but they were like tie-dyed green on one side and red on the other.
Really, that's remarkable.
Yeah,
At any time.
And he was a big guy, right? Anyway, since then we've run into him many times. The Old Dublin pub in Montreal is kind of his haunt, I guess, is where he was. But he also flew to Newfoundland to do a great big Christmas show.
He did.
Like the second one we ever did. And spent the week.
He did.
And he brought his excellent band. Jonathan was the fiddle player.
He brought Jonathan and...
Who's the flautist?
I'm thinking Rick, but that's not right.
I'm thinking Gord, but that could be Gord.
No, that's not right either. No, he has a brother. Goss is his last name.
Goss is. I agree. We agree with that.
It's not Rick.
No.
Anyway, sweet man.
Sweet man. We've run into him in various states of undress and mental capacity. And also, I've run into him once with no less than 2 broken elbows.
That's a lot of broken elbows, man. Well, that's very uncomfortable.
He actually did lights for us at Barrymore's one night in Ottawa, which he surfaced again. He always looks different every time I see him.
He did lights. The very first gig we ever played in Montreal was at the Club Soda. We opened up for the late Kirk McGecky and
Borealis, right?
Yeah, Aurealis.
And
Liam was doing lights that night. That's the first time I recall meeting Liam Callahan.
This kind of sounds like the Mahones, actually.
He was friends with the Mahones, was probably the wrong word. They were fellow travelers on the Celtic Road during the heyday of Celtic rock in Canada, about 1997.
Well, I guess you could still see Liam. I'm sure you could still see him at the Old Dublin and/or Hurley's pub off
I think he still plays there occasionally, yeah.
I know Jonathan was there playing. The last time we played there, he was there, and I got up and sang several songs that I can't remember and certainly forgot all the words and all that stuff.
The most notable time I was at the Old Dublin recently. It was after the smoking convention. We played for Benson and Hedges.
Complete whores that we are.
Annual Christmas party.
We played for Smokes.
Yeah, and the smoke was like these guys were all 4-pack a day guys, and they just handing us cigarettes. So we all went out and left the place stuffed, smokers and non-smokers alike, reeking of smokes, clutching cartons and packs and towels and hats and all this other junk.
Yeah.
Anyway, I ended up at the Old Dublin singing with a Jewish guy. I've forgotten his name now.
I know who you're talking about because I got his yarmulke.
He gave you persuaded him to give you his yarmulke.
I can't remember his name. I should remember his name because he's always there every time we're there. And he was there last time too, which was in October sometime.
I remember clutching a Guinness and having a chat with about
Judaism.
Yes, the topic of which I know nothing really either, and expounded at great length, as one does when 9 pints in.
We don't have many Jewish folk here in St. John's. I think there's less than 600 actual.
I'd say it's less than 60, not 600, man. The
really?
Synagogue just up the road from me, man. It's like it's the size of a Tim Hortons.
No trouble to get a seat there, is it?
No.
Not the way to go.
I think about joining it up, actually, man. Like, give it up to ham,
Yeah? It's a filthy animal, right? Okay. Well, that's Liam Callahan and The Water of Life.
Liam Callahan.
We did a show. It's a television show we did. And this band was involved with this. They're a Francophone band, but I think she was from Spain or something.
Lassa was, not to give her name away, but she was Mexican-Canadian.
Mexican-Canadian.
She was Mexican, yeah.
I can't remember the show, but I remember it was CBC.
It was called the 9 o'clock show or the 8:45 show. The 9:15 show?
A short-lived series at best. This was pretty fun.
I remember we all went for a drink after at some terrible Toronto touristy restaurant, like the Loose Moose or something. And we're all sitting there at this big long table. It was a surreal moment.
Yeah, she was the only girl there too, which really didn't.
No, that never works very well.
She became a bit of a target.
Interesting woman, man. She gave up the music business after this album and went to join a circus. She had a sister in France who was in the circus. So Lassa ran away and joined her sister's circus, like as an acrobat or something.
Are you making this up?
No, this is a true story. And she
not Cirque du Soleil now, like some.
like stand on the street with a hat and do dislocate your elbow, that kind of circus, right? Not a very popular circus. No animals or trailer. Or anything.
You seem to know an awful lot more about Lassa than I do.
I found Lassa really. She was an intriguing person.
Now, isn't Lhasa the name of some Tibetan city, like the?
It is, but Lhasa was her name, but I think her family were hippies of serious proportion too.
Of serious proportion.
So I think everyone picked their own name when they were 12 or something like that. Yeah.
I still listen to this album like late at night, probably when it's too late, and think of her fondly. Band was great too.
She played the piano, accordion, and sang, which is always.
It's funny you don't hear this kind of stuff on the radio at all. No.
Us is a unique creature.
I'm going to surprise you now. This is going to be.
I'm ready for some surprise.
The club was in Toronto. It's after you do the horseshoe. The El Macambo.
The El Macambo, upstairs or down?
Upstairs at the El Macambo. We graduated to the upstairs of the El Macambo. And this poor fella...
famously bad monitors, too. For
it was terrible. But this poor guy, like many of our opening acts, and we send apologies to them because sometimes our fans are a bit rabid. So if the opening act is too different or too bizarrely off the course, it won't work. This guy, Murray Torkelsden.
Murray Torkelsden.
Murray, do you remember him?
I remember him, man, at the Elmo.
Murray Torkelsden.
A man of great courage.
He was almost like a Billy Bragg / Clash.
There's a Billy Bragg aspect about it.
Never heard of him after.
No, sunk without a trace.
I don't know why he was there, but I remember watching the show, and he was all by his lonesome, doing this, screaming his head off.
I remember he had a tie, he had a suit on, and a big, like, Gretsch guitar and an amp. And that was, man, it must have been 112 degrees in there. Like, it was middle of summer, no windows, like, boiling hot. Our crowd hated him, like, they hated him. It's often been with us that our crowds are, our audiences are indifferent to our opening acts, or, you know,
this guy took it on.
But they hated this guy, like, they hated him.
Yeah. He took it on the chin, though.
Yeah, he just sang harder, man, I remember. Mind you, there was no dressing room at the Elmo, so we had no choice other than to stand there.
This again would be like 1995.
I'd say, well, we were there to play the Mariposa Festival, so if it wasn't 94, it was 95.
Oh, I remember them.
So I remember we had no hotel, we had to stay at the...
I stayed at the residence.
We had to stay in the dorm rooms, yeah.
I never slept at all.
I remember being on the elevator with Big Rude Jake. It wasn't...
Oh, another guy, yeah.
It wasn't that big, and it wasn't very rude either, I was disappointed.
No.
I was expecting him to fart or burp or something like that, and he didn't do anything.
Murray Torkelsden, the album Sex, Lies, and Videotape. Alright, here's a guy, one of the great Canadian songwriters. His name is Bob Schneider. I remember playing in Winnipeg at the, what's the place we played in Winnipeg, our first kind of big...
The Winnipeg Folklore Center. Oh, no, the West End Cultural Center.
The West End Cultural Center, yeah. And he was our opening act. It was in the middle of the winter, and it was freezing. So he showed up very late as the opening act. We'd already done our thing, and we were just hanging around. He showed up.
We had like 10 minutes worth of horses.
And all he had was a guitar and stuff. And he didn't really care. And he walked in, and I said, "Took you, man. You're a bit late." He said, "You know, man, you know record companies, you know, they give you this rock to hang, they just let you carry it around with you. They give you a big rock, and they put you on the road." I'm like, "Had a rough day?" He said, "Yeah." He took a Greyhound bus from Toronto to play the gig.
You're taking a Greyhound.
Now our fans,
2 days on a Greyhound.
Our fans loved him, and he was really like perfect for the gig. And the reason I picked this track is called "Darn Folk Singer." And the gist of the song, or the theme of it, is how folk singers, all they care about is money.
True.
So true.
It's a big disgrace, and a terrible din is sickening.
Anyway, he was signed to EMI. He had 2 major record releases. One CD was one that was mixed with Ron Hines on the new Arts and Craft label, or whatever it was called. See you later, Bob.